Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Fargy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag, and it's wonderful to have you along for the ride. Later than late today, later than dealer time late today. I don't know if this is anybody else's problem. It's a public service announcement. This is also me asking for help. Like, it's damp outside. I'm just going to blame my wife's cats again. My allergies are just insane. And I hate admitting my horrible allergy problem because I think it makes me feel like I'm 8 years old. But anyway, oh my God, the battle I've been having the last couple of days. Oh my goodness. Can you even see the redness? No? Anyway, feel terrible. Welcome into the show anyway. You know what makes me feel great? The Philadelphia Phillies make me feel great with the way they're playing baseball. Zach Wheeler absolutely dominant yesterday against the Colorado Rockies in that victory. Then you got Embiid, Sosa, and Mundo Sosa just on fire, batting 600 to start out the season. Loved what you saw from him last night. Absolutely, just a great game. Just a fun game. Tight enough to keep it interesting, but the bat's coming up clutch yet again to help support their starting pitcher, their ace, to pick up his first win of the season. In the football, also the Braves, I know they got a tough draw there with the with the LA Dodgers, but 0-7 to start out the season. Shohei Ohtani walks it off last night. How about that? We'll just bask in that for a little bit. And then Vic Fangio yesterday, big Phillies fan that he is, was at the Phillies game last night. At least he was there for batting practice. And I saw NBC Sports Philadelphia catch up with him. John Clark, as a matter of fact, talking to him about the off-season losses on the defense. And, as you would assume, Vic Fangio was, cool as a cucumber about it. He was fine. Yeah. He was just talking about how it just gives me more of an opportunity to wear out Howie, or an excuse to wear out Howie. I guess that means when it comes to scouting more talent. And as one would assume, he was asked about the tush push, because that and torpedo bats, yet again, are the biggest stories of the last 7 days. So we'll get into all that. And on a 76ers front, I'm going to make this as easy as possible with Joel Embiid, at least in the intro here on the show, the open of the show. He's not retiring, I guess. He's getting the surgery. He'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks. He's had 3 surgeries on this same knee. This would be the second surgery in a little over a year, 14 months. I wasn't sure what avenue he was going to go, in all honesty. If he was just going to go the route of hanging it up and retiring. Now, granted, I was 90% sure he was going to play, but still I wasn't 100% sure. So he's getting the surgery. He'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks. I'm sure we'll hear about it in some capacity in the next the next week. He had successful surgery. Okay, great. Well, how successful was it? Was it successful enough to get him back to the MVP form? We'll dissect it more as the show goes on. I think that's a bad word to use in this context. But anyway, we'll break it down even more as the show goes on. But all I got out of yesterday was he's not retiring, and it's not very hopeful as far as him returning to the MVP form that we have seen him in before. And I think most people were already thinking that things were going to go that direction. But let's start out on a positive note. This Philadelphia Phillies team used something that we rarely see the Philadelphia Phillies team use to win a ball game. We've seen them use starting pitching that has been dominant. We've seen that. When you go back to last year, the start of this year, we've seen that. What we haven't seen a lot of is small ball. And as I'm watching this game yesterday, I'm like, where's the home run? And they had opportunities for home runs. They had opportunity. Well, of course, they had opportunities for home runs. They had opportunities for grand slams against the Colorado Rockies. And then they just went down 1, 2, 3, bing, bang, boom, 3 strikeouts. The only 3 strikeouts that Kyle Freeland got yesterday in his start came with the bases loaded, and he sat down Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm in the middle of that. That's if you're going to have 3 strikeouts, that's the time to do it. And it was so crazy because in that inning, he threw sweepers galore to Bryce Harper and Alec Bohm and Kyle Schwarber. And he got them all flailing away during their at-bats on those sweepers. He got Schwarber, I think, on the punch-out on a sweeper. And then he got Bryce Harper, I think, on a fastball after he had thrown him 3 sweepers. He buzzed Bryce Harper on the first pitch with a fastball up and in, then threw him 3 sweepers, and then came back with a fastball. Each sweeper, Bryce Harper looked more and more lost on. Same thing with Alec Boehm. He went down actually on a sweeper that was low and inside, and then Kyle Schwarber was flailing away at a sweeper low and outside. So then they come back up to the plate in the 7th inning, I think it was, and they face Freeland again. And Harper, this time the sweeper just flattened out, and Harper just missed. Like warning track power. Missed putting a flat sweeper into the stands there in right field for what I think would have been a grand slam. Even to the point where John Kruk in the booth said, "Oh, no," like when there was contact, you can hear, "Oh." And Tom McCarthy was cool. He just went, that's going to be out on the warning track. Like he hit perfect. He lined it up perfectly. But that was the only down moments of the game. Moments like that where you had a hope dashed. But everything else was pretty on point yesterday for the Phils. Zach Wheeler just had it going early. 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Got a double play in the second inning. A lot of base runner. Mickey Moniak got a single to center field in the third, but then he was able to get the 6-4 force out after that, just 15 pitches. 4th inning, 1-2-3 inning, another strikeout, sits down Goodman on the splitter on 3 pitches, 13 pitches in that inning in total. Then in the 5th inning, gives up a broken bat single to Chris Bryant to center field on a fastball that he sawed him off. Then he strikes out Tolley on a high fastball, gets Martini to ground out to second base, and then strikes out Farmer on a splitter. 19 pitches in that inning. 1-2-3 in the 6th inning. 7th inning, gives up the home run to Goodman. That was a rough one. That was his most labor-filled inning for Zach Wheeler, 22 pitches in that one. By that time, he already had a 2-1 lead, and he was pretty dominant. 10 strikeouts in total for Zach Wheeler. Used the fastball, the splitter, the sweeper. Everything was working for him yesterday, and the only pitch that he made a mistake on was with Goodman. And if you even want to call it a mistake, it was in off the plate. It was on. It would have been on the hands, but Goodman put a great swing on a bad pitch and just belted it out of the park. 4 rows back, 5 rows back, 370 to left field. Credit to him for putting a good swing on it. But by that point, again, the Phillies already had a 2-1 lead. Now, how do they get that 2-1 lead at that point? 4th inning, scoreless game. Kyle Schwarber comes up to the plate after an Alec Boehm single with the torpedo bat, mind you. Schwarber one-handed, just like pool cues a ball into the left field corner. Boehm is on first base. They send Boehm home on this play. I was surprised Dusty Watson did it, but he did it. Not even a good throw, a decent throw, cutoff throw, gets Alec Boehm by a mile at home plate. The throw coming in from left field was terrible. Missed the cutoff man. Boehm scores easily. 1-0 Phils. Then you get some great base running by Kyle Schwarber. He makes it to third on Nick Castellanos' grounder to second. So he goes to third. He got 1 out. JT Realmuto steps up, hits a little dribbler barely onto the grass in front of home plate. And Kyle Schwarber sits there at third base, little up the line. Waits for how the Rockies are going to play this. I think it was Freeland fired to first. Nobody is covering home. So he knows it's going to be a sprint to home. Whoever's going to try to field the throw that's going to get him. As soon as the throw's made to first base, Kyle Schwarber breaks for home. Just makes it in under the tag. Phillies go up 2-0. Aggressive base running and a little small ball. Not just aggressive, smart aggressive by the Phils. Again, 1-2-3, 5th inning there for the Colorado Rockies, courtesy of Zach Wheeler. Then in the 5th inning, Edmundo Sosa steps up there. He gets a single. His 7th hit at this point in the season. He had another one in his back pocket later in the game. Rojas comes up there, lays down a beautiful bunt single. He makes it to first. Dumb throw for them to even try, for them to even attempt to get him at first base. But lays down that bunt. Sosa advances to second on the throwing error on the pickoff attempt when Rojas was at the plate. Then on the bunt, he takes third. So you got runners at first and third with nobody out. Trey Turner steps up there, gets an infield single where Edmundo Sosa just makes it back to the third base bag in time before they tag him. So then they make the throw across it was Tolley. Tolley makes the throw across the field, nothing doing. Now you got the bases loaded with nobody out. And this is the instance where Harper, Boehm, Schwarber go down 1-2-3. 24 pitch inning for Freeland. Phillies get nothing going for themselves in the 6th inning, and then in the 7th inning, they get able to get another run across the plate when Edmundo Sosa again gets a single, this one to left field. Rojas steps up, lays down the sac bunt, gets Sosa to third. Turner steps up, gets the RBI single to center on a 1-pitch at bat, makes it a 3-1 game. And then Harper steps up. This is where he missed those 2 sweepers that were hanging. One, he just swung and missed. The other was the long fly ball, warning track power, right field. Would have been a 2-run home run. Unfortunately, nothing was doing. And I don't think it was any coincidence that they took Freeland out in favor of Chavilli. Hold on. Chavilli. Yeah. He comes into the game and gets bummed to ground out the third. 8th inning is where a little bit more magic happened for your Phils. Kyle Schwarber gets sat down, flying out to left field. Castellanos comes up, gets a single to center. Real Muto double, gets the hustle double to the right center field gap and beats the throw to second base. Just a weird play by the Rockies in terms of just being lackadaisical in fielding. They had a couple of those boneheaded plays. When the Phillies went down 1-2-3 in the 5th inning with the bases loaded and only up 2-0, usually I think, all right, that's going to come back and bite the Phillies in the old behind. But guess what? It did not at all. Phillies up 3-1 in that 8th inning. Castellanos, Real Muto get their hits. Kepler gets intentionally walked to face Edmundo Sosa. This happened a lot at the beginning of last year where Phillies were getting intentionally walked to so they could face JT Real Muto or Alec Boehm, and then both those players would make him pay for it. Edmundo Sosa made him pay for it. 2-run double to center field, 5-1 Phillies. That's how that went down. After the game, Edmundo Sosa's batting .600. Hey, Rob Thompson, what are you going to do with Edmundo Sosa tomorrow?
Going to get Sosa in the lineup tomorrow.
I'd like to play. I'm going to call MLB and see if we can play 10.
It's a little league.
I don't know.
A rover?
A rover, yeah.
I mean, when he gets on these hot streaks, it is tough to not play him, is it not?
It is. It really is. We got to think about that one, but yeah.
Is the outfield an option?
Not against a right-hander, I don't think. Yeah. But Stott's got to play. Turner's got to play. If he comes in fine tomorrow, and Bohm's swinging the bat too. So it's a good problem to have, for sure.
Normally, I hate that phrase, but you got Turner. Turner had 3 hits yesterday. You want to get Bryson Stott going as well. He's going to be your everyday second baseman. Going into spring training, we talked about Edmundo Sosa playing in the outfield. He did play in the outfield in spring training. That's why the question was asked about if it's an option. We talked about that a little bit on this show yesterday. He's played 3 games as of yesterday, now 4. All 4 of his games have been multi-hit games. 2 hits against the Nationals in both games. Now 5 hits in 2 games against the Colorado Rockies. That's swinging a good bat. I don't know if he's using a torpedo or not, but whatever he's using, grab Sosa's bat and start swinging away, fellas. They do have the righty on the mound today, this afternoon, 1:05. Supposed to get some rain later today. Hopefully it doesn't impact the game, but Antonio Senzatella is out there for the Rockies. Taijuan Walker for the Phillies. But this is why you try to get guys flexible. Max Kepler is going to be playing in left. This is exactly why you get him as versatile as you can. And Phillies, credit to them, able to get Edmundo Sosa a little bit of reps, at least in the outfield in spring training, so that he gets this opportunity. Look, it wasn't 600 last year by any means, but let's not forget Edmundo Sosa in the month of May hit well over 300. Had, I think, 4 triples, 4 doubles, maybe 1 or 2 home runs. I mean, he was on fire in the early goings of last season. And this is a huge difference maker. And it's not just him. When you have guys hitting at the bottom of the lineup, I mean, that just takes a lot of pressure off the guys in the middle of the lineup or the top of the order that are supposed to be the big bats. I don't think it was pressure that got to him in the 5th inning when they went down 1-2-3 at the strikeouts, but Edmundo Sosa just seems to be feeling it. And here's one of the interesting things I picked up in last night's game. Edmundo Sosa popped out to first base in his first at bat. The camera just caught him. Good job by the TV crew. The camera just caught him going into the dugout, and he's making eye contact with Nick Castellanos. And Nick kind of looks at him like, it was right there. Like, it was. It was a home run pitch. It was a home run swing. He just missed it, just under it. How on fire would he be if he added a home run? If he had a 4-for-4 day, just missed this pitch. And you can kind of tell that there's a little, exchange there with him and Nick Castellanos. Like, ooh, that one was right there for you. And Edmundo Sosa just kind of, like nodded his head. They high five, whatever. And then he comes up with 3 hits after that in the game. The confidence he's swinging the bat with is great. You want to keep that kind of bat in the lineup. It's just not going to happen today, unfortunately, against the righty. And that's the cards the Phillies are dealt today. So the Phillies have an opportunity now in their first series of the season, their home series of the season, to come away by busting out the brooms to handle the Colorado Rockies. And this was awesome last night. And shout out to my old friend Dave Melandra, who was an intern when I was the producer for Big Daddy Graham on WIP like 20 years ago. Dave, Boss Dave, is now a writer. He's writing for all sorts of publications, doing a great job. He tweeted out a picture last night of the opening series T-shirts looking like playoff rally towels at CBP. The air's crisp. It's a little chilly out. And you look into the sold-out crowd at Citizens Bank Park, and they're all waving the shirts like they're rally towels. It was a thing of beauty. It's good to have baseball back. Hopefully I'll feel the same way after, you watch Taijuan Walker pitch today. There's hope's no strategy, but I hope he does well, I guess. I hope the Phillies bats, if they get the bases loaded on a number of occasions today, I really hope they hit grand slams, multiple. They're going to need them. What was the situation at 8th? I forget if the bases loaded or not. Sosa, Rojas, sack bunt, Turner's on base. Yeah, 2 runners were on. Sorry, not the bases loaded for Harper in the 7th inning. 2 runners were on. When he flew out deep right field. Phillies are right today. Zach Wheeler, again, was just dominant today. Picks up his first win of the season. Small ball, got the Phillies the win. Who would have thought? Elsewhere, all that we're really concerned about is the Atlanta Braves are 0-7. That's the way that went down. That's a shame. That's a shame. Vic Fangio addressed the media. Oh, he just talked to John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia while he was taking in some batting practice. The big Phils fan and Philadelphia sports fan in general that Vic Fangio is. John asked him about losing Milton Williams, losing Josh Sweat, losing 5 starters, losing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, blah, 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 blah. Like it's been an offseason of loss. When it came to coaching up new players, guys that are either going to get drafted or guys that have, already had some NFL careers under their belts, they're going to be coming in here, and Vic Fangio is going to be looking to find the next Zach Bond. Who is the guy that you're bringing in that you're not expecting a lot from, or a guy that hasn't really reached what he thinks his full potential could be in the NFL? If he gets a healthy Azeez Ojulari, I can't wait to see what kind of season he's going to have under Vic Fangio. I can't wait to see what kind of seasons he's going to have with Jalen Carter in the middle of the line of scrimmage. And look, Dexter Lawrence is no slouch by any means in New York, but if you're also throwing in there Nolan Smith and you're also throwing in there Jalix Hunt, and I know that I would still love to see the Eagles add a defensive tackle in the draft. I know a lot of people are still on the edge rusher bandwagon, and that's totally fine. I'm more in the DT position. But when it comes to Vic Fangio, you got to be looking at a guy that's going to be able to help the edge rushers you already have. And I feel like that is going to be a huge difference maker when it comes to the makeup that you need from the drop-off in talent that you had from last year. Now, talent-wise, to use that word again, talent-wise, you brought in talent. Azeez Ojulari is talented. No question about that. The only question is whether or not you can keep him on the football field. And I hate highlighting that in the game of football. And I know the health and safety of players has become a big talking point, especially when it doesn't affect the tush push at all, but where it actually affects the game, when you have edge rushers doing their thing, you have defensive tackles doing their thing in the open field or getting into the backfield. Yeah, that's where injuries can happen. And Azeez Ojulari has certainly had his fair share of them. But if Vic Fangio finds a way to keep him on the football field, you could be looking at somebody putting up close to Hassan Reddick numbers. I think you could be looking at somebody in the worst case scenario putting up what Josh Sweat put up throughout last year. Can he find that, so to speak, diamond in the rough? Howie Roseman has put it at his feet again, saying, you got these guys that I'm bringing in here, whether it's Josh Uche, whether it's Azeez Ojulari, whoever it is, I'm bringing these guys in here. Can you find that diamond in the rough? Can you polish these guys up and put them in the right position to have success? Because he certainly did that with Zach Bond last year. Adoree Jackson, is he going to be able to understand the scheme and philosophy of a Vic Fangio defense? How are you going to coach him up? Does he have his best year still ahead of him in this Philadelphia Eagles secondary? How do guys like Quenyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, who I know nobody is worried about, but how do you help them take that next step forward? I was thinking about that yesterday when I was listening to Fangio. He talked about how last year, guys like Cooper DeJean, not guys like them specifically, Cooper DeJean and Quenyon Mitchell, they just never got satisfied. They just never got satisfied. They never got full of themselves, reading their, it used to be press clippings, but now I guess it's posts with people saying how great they are. Just kept being hungry. Just kept wanting to get better and better. Nick Sirianni said something interesting during his media session. I don't even think I mentioned it yesterday, but Nick Sirianni talked about how the better you get, the harder you have to work. The higher you rise, the more you have to work, the harder you have to work. That's apparently what he told his 7th grade niece when she made all-conference, got named player of her conference, player of the year in her conference, I think in 7th grade basketball. It's the same philosophy. Athletes are athletes, but applying that to an NFL player also, well, it makes sense. No matter how good you are, if you keep getting better, then you're going to have to keep working harder. You keep rising through the ranks, you just got to work harder. Because guess what? Those people are going to be expecting you to be great. And they're going to try to match your greatness with their greatness. And they're going to try to keep bringing it each and every time. So now Vic Fangio is going to be charged with doing that with Quenyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And those are 2 willing participants, as we all know at this point. He did get asked about the tush push. I know now Vic Fangio added to the list of people saying, because it's tabled, that means they're going to vote on it in May. They're going to whip up the votes and they're going to shoot it down and say no more tush push and no more pushing in general. Like you can't push the pile anymore. Vic Fangio said specifically that's probably how they're going to get rid of it, by saying just no pushing in general. The player can't come up and a running back can't, make it through the hole and then, 3 guys jump on him and then there's a pile and then you push the pile. You can't do that anymore. He said that's how they're going to eliminate the tush push. I know this is everyone now, including Vic Fangio's mindset that it's going to be gone. It's going to be done. I'm still waiting on the evidence. Because right now, all people are telling me, or all people are telling us, is that, we're going to show you the evidence. And I was like, well, what's the evidence now? You wait and see. It's like, no. How is the evidence now going to be different? Are you playing another season between now and May when you vote on this again? Because it's going to be the same evidence. They need 24 votes to say, off with the tush push. There's a lot of BS surrounding this play. And it drives me crazy. Because, look, yes, the Eagles do it well. But the point I keep making with all this is that when the rest of the league runs it, they have a near 70% success rate. The Eagles have an 82% success rate. So the argument of only the Eagles are good at it, no, the Eagles are great at it. It seems like everyone else is pretty good at it as well. I mean, you're asking an offensive line and a quarterback, or even a tight end to get a first down, on inches or a yard. That's what you're asking them to get, inches to a yard. The Eagles have used it at like a 4th and 2, and they've gotten it. Other people can run this play. When people use the argument of, player safety, it's like everyone's fine. No, it's not an issue. I really don't know. But when people say it looks ugly or it looks like a rugby play, rugby came before American football, so a lot looks like rugby in football. I mean, are we going to eliminate any toss plays, like all toss plays, because that looks like rugby? Stupid. Just stupid. Oh, boy. I'm just seeing this pop up from Adam Schefter. Oh, he's just tweeting a thing he did yesterday with Pat McAfee show. But Adam Schefter has said that tush push is going to be gone. So there's that. Good times. Good times. Still doesn't make any damn sense to me. Like, at all. If you messaged Jeffrey Lurie on it yesterday, here's a little snippet of what he had to say.
The tush push, they probably will be discussing it in May, so we have to be prepared for every result. I think for everybody, including myself especially, health and safety is the most important thing when evaluating any play. We've been very open to whatever data exists on the tush push, and there's just been no data that shows that it isn't a very, very safe play. If it weren't.
So one of the things I loved about the things he said was just whatever data exists. Is that the most subtle way to say you got nothing? You guys keep talking about this data. This data, it's all out there. No, there's nothing. You got nothing. There's nothing there. We've actually found a safer way to run the quarterback sneak, and you dummies aren't talking any trash on the quarterback sneak. As I've said, I would love to see the Eagles. I'd love to see the tush push not get banned. The Eagles never run it in 2025 and still go on to win the Super Bowl by like 30 points. They tush push it up their ass. How about that? I don't know why this is making me so angry. Oh, because it's dumb, and dumb things make me angry. Especially when it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And they're like, well, what about this play that just kind of looks weird? Ban it. Okay. Don't you think it's a little weird that a kicker runs out on the field every once in a while and kicks a football? That looks stupid. It was Ross Tucker that went on that rant. Yeah. Ross Tucker is just like, how stupid is it that the guy just walks onto the field after these guys are like, hitting each other and all that stuff, and then this guy just comes on the field and kicks? What's with that? That looks weird. This offseason is keeping you on the edge of your seat. Look forward to May. So there you go. Joel Embiid. One more thing for the tush push haters. That'll be all. For the people on the podcast, I know it's been a minute since I spoke to you, a while since I spoke to you. That was just Jalen Hurts smiling with his MVP trophy and his Super Bowl trophy. Joel Embiid. As I said earlier, all I got from yesterday is that he's not retiring. 14 months, 2 surgeries on the same knee. Throughout his career, 3 surgeries on the same knee. Left knee. I don't know a lot about orthoscopic surgery, and let me just get this out of the way. I'm not a doctor. I know that might shock a lot of you, but you're taking away cartilage. How much of that do you have? How many times can you do that? Look, I hate to say I'm ever happy somebody's having surgery, but given the options at hand, either not having the surgery and retiring or having the surgery and giving another shot. I would love to see whatever gets Joel Embiid as close to that MVP status, caliber play, whatever gets him as close to that again, I'm all for it. Ultimately, I'm all for whatever is best for the 76ers and makes them a winning basketball team. Now, I can't have rose-colored glasses. I can't have Disney goggles on when it comes to looking at this. I'm not optimistic about this. I maintain that Joel Embiid knows he's at the end. Like I don't mean like at the end of like just playing at an MVP caliber level. I mean he knows that he's at the end. Like I don't expect Joel Embiid to play 2 more seasons in the NBA. And the reason I say 2 is because he's obviously got the 4 years left after this. He's got huge money attached to it. He's not just going to give up on that. And if the Sixers move on from him, some other team's going to take a chance on him. And I don't know who that other team is. I don't know if he just retires and calls it, whatever. But I don't think it's just going to be this year that he tries. I think he's going to try to catch on somewhere else later. But I am not optimistic at all. And what I have said since his first press conference of this season, where it was announced shortly after it was announced he wasn't going to play in the opener, and then he faced the media, and I give all the credit in the world to my old friend Dave Uram, who asked the question. 4 minutes into the press conference, somebody finally asked him, and it was Dave, hey, you played in the Olympics, dude. He didn't phrase it like that, but you played in the Olympics. What the hell's going on here? You're not ready for this season? Why'd you play in the Olympics then? And that's when Joel got extremely defensive. And I've defended Joel Embiid a lot. There's no defense for this. He was like, I've done a lot for this city. And it's like, okay, no, dude. The question was, why would you play in the playoffs? And he talked about how little he played other than the game against Serbia. But still, then why aren't you just 100% dedicated to just being ready for the 76ers? And the reason is, and this is what I've been talking about all offseason. Well, ever since that press conference. My thought, what I get out of this, and this isn't me talking to people with the Sixers and formulating this opinion. This is just from an outside perspective looking at. He played for Team USA, A, because it would be awesome. B, he'd get a gold medal. And C, he's not winning an NBA championship. And he knows he's not winning an NBA championship. Especially he's not winning an NBA championship with the Sixers. Because he's at the end. Because he's at the end. And that's sad for a number of reasons. But the people I think about are the people that I've had probably the softest spot in my heart ever for a specific fan base. 76ers fans. Who went through the whole process and all that. And we're not going to go through the history lesson of it. You all know what happened. But I feel really bad for a fan base that went through that, came out on the other side stronger, all while riding a tidal wave of hope, only to watch a quadruple doink knock you out of the playoffs, and only to watch the Boston Celtics lap you tenfold, and all to not make it out of the second round of the playoffs. And all to watch two first overall picks not be here anymore and be busts. What do you think about it? So the next chapter lies with Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain and Quentin Grimes. I don't know. Dembona? No? Okay. Soft spot in my heart for the Sixers. But when I saw the news, I went, okay, well, he's not retiring. And all we can do is wait 6 months. It should be 6 weeks for being reevaluated and see what the future will hold for Joel Embiid. If you just take a guess, I assume that we're going to get a notice at some point, a report that Joel Embiid had successful surgery on his left knee. He'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks. 6 weeks down the line, we hear Joel Embiid is going to start a training period and workout regimen. Be ready for next year. Hey, I again, as part of that tidal wave of hope, I hope Joel Embiid comes back next year and we see the guy that was playing at an MVP level, and we see Paul George come back and play as the guy that the Sixers traded for or signed, in the offseason. And Tyrese Maxey's fine and dandy and no problems with Jared McCain and all that. But I'm rooting for it. I'm not betting on it. unfortunately. Let me tell you about the Game Time app. You want to go to the game? Want to go to the concert? Want to go to the comedy show? Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. And don't forget about the Game Time Picks feature. The Game Time Picks feature allows you to filter out all the fluff so you don't waste time scrolling through literally thousands of tickets just looking for the best deal. No, you just hit Game Time app, or it should be Game Time Picks on the Game Time app, and it takes you right to the best seats at the best prices. You can also view your seat before you buy it, so you literally take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Know what you're buying. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. How about Sky Motor Cars? Check out Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorCars.com. Before I get to the chat check, happy 80th birthday to Bernie Perrant. I gotta say this. Bernie Perrant, I think I've told you guys this before. Like growing up, my dad would talk, about a lot of sports, but my dad would talk about the Flyers 70s teams, the Broad Street Bullies. With I don't know if like you're of my generation where your dad really was, experiencing that as a guy that was like fresh out of college, young adult, whatever. Those 70s Flyers teams just captivated the city, and they won the back-to-back championships. They had parades, My dad spoke so glowingly and speaks so glowingly about those years with the Flyers, watching that like when I started in the business and I would meet players, like I remember Bob the Hound Kelly, God bless him on his retirement. What a great guy. But when I started meeting members of the Flyers 70s teams, like my dad was like, "Oh, you met Bob the Hound Kelly? What was he like?" That kind of thing. "Oh, you met Bernie Perrant?" That kind of thing. I was like, he's great. Bernie is everybody's best friend. Like I can't about the accolades. He's one of the greatest goaltenders in the history of the NHL. But when he walks into a room, I remember I did a feature with him when I was working at NBC Sports Philly, where I interviewed him at a diner, and like we literally sat there and had a meal for like an hour. And walking into the diner, we were at Lancer's Diner on 611. I don't know is that Horsham, Washington Crossing, or Warrington Crossing? I forget where that is. But it's 611, just in Montgomery County. And I grew up, passing this place and eating at this place a lot. And he walks in, and everybody lit up. And he's, there's a baby there. They hand him his baby. It was like I was watching a movie. And he picks up the baby. He rubs the baby's hand on his Stanley Cup champion rings. Everyone's got a story about a time he came out in the 70s to meet so-and-so. Oh, my father was in the hospital. You came and saw him. Like, they'd make visits like that. It was like everybody has a story about somebody from that 70s Flyers team. And Bernie is the guy that's the king of it all. And he walks into a room, everyone in that room, it's the best part of their day. Like, it's pretty safe to assume it's the best part of their day, if not the best part of their week, month, or year. Like, I can't talk enough about what a great guy he is in the community, how I'm honored to call him a friend, how I've been able to work with him a couple of times now on WBCB radio. He's just always a joy to be around. The man turns 80 years old today. And I was asked to be part of a video for Bernie, a tribute video for Bernie on his birthday. And I was like, Bernie, we go way back, buddy. Hey, look at us. For the people on the podcast, I have a poorly photoshopped picture of my head over Bobby Clark's as Bernie Perrant and I hoist the Stanley Cup. So I know he'll get a kick out of that one. But happy birthday, Bernie. Happy birthday. Let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are doing on this fine Thursday morning. Oh, my goodness. Sean Kilrain, hello. Insane Eagles. Jalen Hurts has more rushing touchdowns than Christian McCaffrey. 3 more rushing touchdowns despite 18 fewer games. Yep. Hate us because they ain't us. McCaffrey's played in 95 games. Jalen Hurts, 71. Overrated. I didn't see this, Sean Kilrain. Travis Kelce said the tush push should not be banned. I understand the whole, if you want to I understand if you want to say it's not safe, but football isn't a safe game to play. I think it's a football type play. It really is mind-numbing to me that people say it's not a football play. It's the most basic football play there is. You know what's not safe? The RPO is not safe. And who was it? It was Terrell Suggs. I remember Terrell Suggs played a preseason game against the Eagles in the Sam Bradford era, where they were running the RPO with Sam Bradford. And Suggs just said, okay, you're going to act like the quarterback might still have the ball? I'm hitting the quarterback. And Suggs said so after the game. If you want to run that play, then I'm just going to hit your quarterback. That's not safe, and you still do it. That's actually not safer. That's less safe than the push. Don't waste my time. Hurt season, what's going on? Weren't the Braves supposed to be good? 0-7. Yeah. I mean, who the Braves played? The Braves have played the Dodgers. And who else did they play? The Padres. Okay, that's a tough draw. I mean, 0-7's crap. They start a series with the Marlins tomorrow night as they come back from the West Coast. So there you go. Sean Kilrain, I think it's a football type play. It's a toughness play that you need to be in sync. More on the tush push, yes. Hurt season, we have all season. There's a long season. Look, I'm excited about each individual game, each individual performance. I'm pissed off about each individual game, each individual performance for the Phillies. But look, I'm going to keep saying it. 37-14 last year, the Phillies. 37-14. The rest of the season after that, I forget the exact numbers, but they were like 54-48 or something like that the rest of the way. Not ideal. I would rather the Phillies go 0-62 in their first 62 games and then win 100 in a row. To me, the start of the season, it's nice to have. If you can have it, it's good. It's nice to have. Doesn't mean anything. Yes, these games count the same as they do in mid and late September. But in terms of peaking at the right time, that's what we learned from last year. William Stark, what's going on? Sean Cumming, hello. White Niners won. All right. If anyone wants to understand what dementia is, it's watching Jerry Jones' interview. I remember I learned my grandmother had dementia, but she was like 95. And I remember my mom saying to me, well, she's like, Mom has dementia. And I was like, what? I thought she was just really old. I thought she was just old, and that's what happens, unfortunately. You forget things. Like she asked me one time, and I know a lot of people say that this breaks their heart, and I don't mean to drudge up any bad memories for people, but my grandmother asked me one time, it was one of the last times we were all together. I think it was my grandparents' 70th wedding anniversary. Yeah. And we were all taking a picture together, and I was like, hey, Mom, how you doing? And she was just like, oh, I know you, but who are you again? And I was like, Mom, don't you worry about it. All you got to worry of your 21 grandchildren, I'm your favorite. And she laughed. And I was like, that's one of the best laughs I ever got. Sean Kilrain, what's going on? Braves officially start the season 0-7 after being swept by the Dodgers and the Padres. No team in Major League Baseball history has ever made the playoffs after starting the season 0-7. Has the magic finally run out in Atlanta? I say no, not yet. Jason, yeah, if you have allergies, this is terrible. This is a terrible time of year. Yeah, man, it's rough. It's rough. I'm dying. I'm really trying. I'm trying not to sniffle in the microphone. Oh, it's terrible. Finishing comments. Such team has even finished with a winning record. Braves are going down, baby. April. Good morning, April. Jason, I don't see how the surgery helps him at all. Yeah, you won't. We won't see that. This is all the only thing I care about. I care about that he's decided to have the surgery. I care about October. That's all I care about. There's going to be a lot of talk in the offseason. There's going to be, I guarantee you, there's going to be a story in 2 months, 3 months, where Joel Embiid looks great. Joel Embiid's doing great. He's on track. Then he's going to be set back, and then we're going to be pissed off. Like, that's how I see this ending up, unfortunately. Sean Gillespie, hello. So sketchable. Farzy, I think Bohm is the slowest guy on the team now. No. I still, Nick Castellanos is Pat Burrell level slow. Get the giraffes a fast pitch. That's funny. Wayne the Pain. What's going on? Buddy Christ. What's going on? At least Walker isn't pitching against the LA Dodgers. Will be a good early season test for the Phils. Right? Jerry Sharp, good news. Sixers season is almost over. I know. I'm very excited about that. Lancer's Diner in Horsham. Thank you very much. Yes. Flyers. Oh, Moose DuPont. Yes, of course, William Stark. Yes. April, I love when the Braves suck. Wine Niners wine. Follow-up. Was anyone alive in the chat when the Flyers won the Stanley Cup? Time to support winners and send message to loser mentality franchises. Right? Rich Turner needs to get it together. Turner had 3 hits last night. April, not Pat Burrell slow. Oh, Pat Burrell slow. I'll never forget. What's his name? Joe Morgan on Sunday Night Baseball with John Miller back in the day, talking about why is my phone? My phone's never on. Why is it on all of a sudden? Pat Burrell was on first base, and Joe Morgan just went, they got to be careful because Pat Burrell has good speed. And I think all of Philadelphia did a spit take. Like, are we, huh? Pat Burrell's got lead in his feet. Yeah. But I've asked the question many times, who would win in a foot race, Nick Castellanos or Pat Burrell? I will say this about Castellanos. He made a first, the third yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the day before. He seems to have gotten faster in the outfield, where at least he gets to the position to slide to make those grabs. Ever since the World Series. You know what fixed Nick Castellanos? Or I don't know, fixed him, but made him a much better outfielder? The World Series against the Astros. All of a sudden, since that World Series, he's making sliding grabs galore. Jason, Lancer's Diner grew up there. How about that? Yeah. I mean, I went to Archbishop Wood, which was not that far down the road. Yeah. Oh, no. Why Niners? Why? Give an update into winning. The Wings are having some struggles, baby. Wings are having some struggles. Rich, Sosa cranked. Oh, you used to live in those apartments next to Lancer's Diner? Went to Halloween Elementary behind it? Oh, Hallowell. I know Hallowell. Okay, that makes more sense now. Yeah, my high school girlfriend, her dad lived right in that neighborhood, like right behind there. So I had hit Lancers quite a bit. Yeah, Lancers, Warminster West, Eagle Diner still has the best scrapple I've ever had in my life. The best scrapple I've ever had in my life. Lancers, if those walls could talk. Yeah, right? Jason A., I'm not either. Farzy Embiid is cooked. It's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm in that. I'm unfortunately in that line of thinking as well. I don't think this ends well for Joel Embiid and the Sixers, unfortunately. Oh, Eagles always been the best, says Jason. There you go. Oh, April went to Hallowell. There you go. Look at this. Look at this. See, we all know each other. We all know each other. Let's get to the morning rush. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Danny Prado. Don't forget, Dallas still sucks. Thank you. Let's get to the morning rush. Brought to you by Sky Motor Cars. SkyMotorCars.com. Hey, we got a double dip today on the postcasts. Here's what we got. I got your Phillies and Rockies coverage on Locked On Phillies YouTube channel, following the Phillies and Rockies today. Hopefully that game goes off without a hitch, being that it's supposed to rain later today. Thunderstorm, actually. Isolated thunderstorm. So if it does happen, hopefully it happens quick. But Taijuan Walker gets the ball today for the Phillies. 1:05 start time as they go to bust out the brooms in their first home series of the season. The 76ers, they're back at it tonight as well. I'm blanking on who they play. The Bucks, that's right. I remember it was a good team. They got the Bucks at 7 o'clock. Good times. That's what's going on. Your Philadelphia Flyers win us a 3 in a row. How about that? They're off till Thursday. Oh, geez, Thursday. They're off till Saturday, excuse me. When they take on the Montreal Canadiens, they'll face the Habs in Montreal at 7 o'clock. 4 in a row. Let's get it, Flyers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is the Farzy Show. This right here is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Be back with you guys on Locked On Sports Phillies YouTube channel, following Phillies and Rockies today. See you guys then. Hope to. Make sure you like and subscribe. See you then.